all your questions in regards to the cleaning business. If you want to know what systems to use, if you want to know how to get started, you want to know what products to use, how to get clients, what to charge. These are all the most frequently asked questions that people have as far as the cleaning business. So definitely we can discuss those things if somebody have questions, and it's pretty much open forum today. But if nobody is able to speak, I will be speaking and just taking the lead on this conversation and just getting the party started. All right, so we're going to start with the word of the day. So the word of the day is circumvent. Circumvent. To circumvent something is to get around it in a clever and sometimes dishonest way. Or if it's a rule or law, to avoid being stopped by it. To circumvent. To circumvent. So again, circumvent is something to get around in a clever or sometimes dishonest way. Circumvent, circumvent, circumvent. All right, so I have a story that kind of ties into the word of the day. Um, I was speaking to a client, and I let her know that we're having a promotion coming up. A buy one get one. If you book a full deep clean, then you'll be able to get a free complimentary recurring clean, but it has to be within that following week. Anything after that is going to be charged. And so obviously the client's like, hey, if I book the deep clean, can I get the free clean in April? And I'm like, no. You cannot. Absolutely not. Like, why would we wait all the way to April to give you a free cleaning? That sounds like it's just going to be a lot of work, a lot of time. And how am I going to pay my team? Does that make sense? No, it does not make sense. So there'll be times where you'll have clients who will try to circumvent their way, to get what they want. And so, not that she was necessarily being dishonest. I would say that she was just trying to be slick, if you will. So, I mean, come on, does that make sense? If clearly the promotion says book a full house deep clean, and the follow up clean, it has to be within the next week. Why do you think that I would okay you to have a cleaning in October and then your follow-up free cleaning will be in April? Okay, come on. We got to stop. We have to stop. So, yeah, that's the only thing that really comes to mind with the word of the day. To say the least, clients will present to you very interesting questions and very interesting situations. So you always got to be, just ready, ready for the interesting things that are going to happen along the way as a business owner. So that's pretty much the word, my kind of like my share on the word of the day. Does anybody else want to share? If you're not able to speak, you can leave a chat. You can leave a comment in the chat. Okay. In the meantime, I don't know what's going on with community, but in the meantime, let's see if everybody jumps on. If not, we're going to keep moving right along. I'm going to, a second. Okay. I'm going to put a link at the top of the room. And then we could have conversation on this topic. So since nobody has any questions, All right. So the link is at the top of the room. And this link is called 3 Simple Steps Before Running Ads. And this is definitely something that we should definitely have in mind before we click the launch button on running ads. Otherwise, we're not going to get a return on our ad spend, or our ads are just going to be ineffective. It's just going to be, wasting money. So we definitely want to do our research and know what we're getting into before we actually press the launch button on the ads. Okay, so if you can click the link that's at the top of the room, that's pinned to the top of the room, it'll go into those 3 steps that I put together for you guys in a video. We always get a lot of questions in the Facebook group. And the questions, a lot of times the questions are very repetitive. And so what I've decided to do is try to, take a few of those questions from the group and give, and give my explanation on a topic to the best of my ability, if it pertains to what I do, if I have knowledge about it. But yeah, so let's get into this video. So the 3 steps before running ads. All right. So the 3 steps before running ads, you want to have certain information. And the first information you want to have is, who is your target audience? Who your target audience is, the reason that's important to know and have clarity about, because the way you present your ad is going to be catered and geared towards piquing the interest of that target audience. So if you don't know who your target audience is, then your ad is potentially going to fail because you're not speaking directly to the pain points of that specific target audience. So the way you speak to a CEO is not the same way you speak to a busy mom. A busy mom has different pain points than a CEO, right? So you need to be very clear about who your target audience is, so that when you articulate your message and you put together everything, it's specifically speaking to the pain point of that specific target audience. Okay. I think a lot of people don't realize that it's important to have a target audience. Some people, when they first come into the cleaning business, they like, oh, I just want to clean. I want to clean everything. I want to clean this. I want to clean that. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do residential. I want to do commercial. They just like pretty much all over the place. They have no specific niche. They have no specific idea of what they want to do, right? And that's okay. No shade to nobody when they first start out, because that was me too. When I first started out, I was all over the place. I was like, I want to do Airbnb. I want to do post construction. I want to clean yachts. I want to, I want to do I want to do it all. And that's pretty much, how I started as well, until I start to realize Airbnb is different from post construction. Post construction is different from commercial. Commercial is different from residential. Like, you have to find your niche, and you have to find what you're passionate about, like what you're seriously interested in, and buckle down and just really focus in on that. Like lock in on that, because the longer you're like all over the place, then you're not going to really start to see the results of the hard work and the effort and the energy that you put into, into your business. So it's important to niche down. Like, it's important to niche down. A lot of people want to do everything and be everything. And I mean, that works for some people, but how does that show up in your ads? How does that show up in your marketing? How does that show up in your, when you creating literature? Who are you advertising to, right? So at some point you're going to realize that, okay, I have to niche down, or you have to create different departments of your business, and either way that's still niching down. So you might have one department of your business that does post construction. You might have one department of your business that does residential cleaning. So you understand, when you're doing post construction, it's a different dialogue versus residential cleaning. So either way, whether you have different departments in your business, you still You still understood the value of niching down. I hope that makes sense, right? Niching down, being very specific, being very clear with who your target audience is, right? That's so important. And another thing about serving different demographics of the cleaning industry, you need different equipment. What you need for post construction is not what you're going to need for a deep clean. You need different equipment. What you need for a commercial is not what you're going to need for Airbnb. You need every component of the cleaning industry requires different equipment. So that's another thing too that you want to be clear about who you want to serve, because the equipment and the products that you buy is going to be different, right? So you might need a shop vac. You might need a high suction vacuum for post construction. You don't need that for Airbnb, right? So it's like, what are you doing? Who are you serving? And I think that's a lot of times, because people don't have that clarity, they're purchasing high tech equipment they don't even need. Like, I literally see people with a big shop vac on their back cleaning an Airbnb. Like, you completely out of place. You're completely out of pocket. You look silly. It's unnecessary. You literally just wasted your money, because you could have just went to Target or Walmart and you could have got you a shark vacuum, but yet because you misinformed, right? You're misinformed. You have this big backpack vacuum on your back like you about to go into a big commercial building. It doesn't make sense. So this is the information that people are not breaking down to people in the industry, and people are just missing it, and people are struggling, and they're missing their mark, and they're not really getting where they want to get because they don't have this clarity, right? And so this is what this community offers you. This community offers you that clarity so that you're not wasting your time, you're not wasting your money and your resources doing all the wrong things because you've been misinformed, right? A lot of people are misinformed. So the second point that I make in the video, so the first point was know who your target audience is. Okay, that's very, very important. The second point that I make in the video is, let me go to the video because I don't remember. Let me see what I say. I don't remember what the point was. What was the second point? Hold on. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, so the second point is SEO language, right? This SEO optimization, that's very important. Those keywords, those hashtags, those, you know, the the words that you use in that advertisement, or the words that you use in your marketing in general, is going to be niche down specifically to attract, to appeal to that target audience. So previously we touched on making sure that your website is SEO optimized. As we understand, Google will crawl your website, right? So when you have Google My Business and that's set up correctly, it's only but so much functionality that you could do to Google My Business, which is the reason why it's so important that your website is fully SEO optimized, right? So literally, Google is depending on your website, right? And so whatever information your website is feeding to the algorithm of Google, that's what it has to produce and push out there to the world when people are looking for that specific service. So if you are, for instance, post construction cleaning, right? But you advertising house cleaning, you are not going to be pushed forward through the algorithm of Google because a lot of your content is not niche specific on post construction cleaning. So it's important to know who your target audience is, and it's important to have your SEO language and your SEO communication optimized to to coincide with that target audience. Okay, so listen, this is a whole masterclass right here that I'm giving y'all. But this is definitely the information that is attached to the link that's pinned to the top of the room, this quick video that I have to the top of the room. Okay, so number 3, let's get to the third tip, and then we could open up the mic, get some comments, questions, and feedback. So the last tip that I mentioned in the video. Okay, an offer. All right, so this is so important. I think a lot of people miss this, and even myself when I first started running, boosting my posts or running ads on Instagram, same thing. Um, so this is something I missed personally until I start to like really study what other people were doing and just really pay attention to these people who are selling you these Facebook courses, these Facebook ad courses, and just really watching and observing and studying what they're doing. And you can literally figure it out, right? Like the sauce is right there. You can't really hide too much, right? So pretty much is you need an offer. What is the offer? Right? What are you offering to the client that you are advertising to? What is the offer? What is going to help people get excited and get motivated to click that button to book now or to learn more, right? So usually um when Macy's have a commercial, they have an offer, 20% off the whole store, oh, deeply discounted. That's an offer, right? The offer is not the service that you have available, right? The offer is not the service that you're offering. The offer is the offer, right? So the offer is the 20% off. The offer is the buy one get one. The offer is the new client offer, whatever promotion you have going on. That's what gets people excited. That's what people gets people interested and following up with you. But if you're just running an ad and you're just sharing what you're doing in your business and you're just sharing your content, that has its purpose too. Don't get me wrong. Like that definitely has its purpose, which I do as well, right? But if you are trying to boost your sales, then you need to have an offer. Okay? If you are trying to boost your sales, you need to have an offer. What is the offer? What's in it for me? Okay? And so that's what the clients want to know. That's what the clients want to see, right? So, for instance, everybody has Instagram, I'm sure, or Facebook, right? I'm sure y'all come across the dazzling cleaning company, right? $9 for 2 hours of cleaning, right? That's the offer. That's what gets people interested. That's what people, wow, like wow, $9. That's like, how do you say no to $9, right? How can you refuse $9? $9 is that's not even a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Like, oh my God, I could do $9. Everybody can do $9, right? Until they get into their system, they get into their database, and they realize there's more to it, right? So, but that is literally the flagship of their business. That's the flagship of their company. They're selling you this idea that you can get your house clean for $9. It's ridiculous, right? But it's even more ridiculous that people actually believe it, right? So, you know, it's crazy. The content on YouTube, and they don't even have, like, if you try to go to their tag, I don't even think that they have. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I checked, but sometimes when you click on that little category where the person is tagged in different posts, you'll see all the videos of people complaining about the services and this and that. And so this is something that we want to be educated about. When clients have pushback about our prices, we want to be well informed of these so-called competitors. We want to be informed so that if the client is experiencing some reluctancy on booking your cleaning service, you can add value to the client by educating them. Okay, well, if this is not what you want, then this is what's out there, right? This is what you're going to come against when you out there shopping. I'm just giving you a heads up, letting you know, this is what it is. So that definitely helps to motivate the client, especially when they're on the fence or they have some reluctancies about booking your services. It definitely helps to be educated about your competitors and what other people are doing, right? So you definitely want to be clear about your target audience. Just as a recap, you want to be clear about your target audience. You want to be clear about your SEO keywords, specifically to what you do, not what other people do, specifically to what you do, right? And you also want to have an offer. Okay, so I hope that video it helps, and I hope that breakdown of the video helps you guys to move forward with your ads, because I know everybody gets excited about running ads, but people don't, a lot of people don't have the foundation knowledge that they need to even run an ad, so you're literally just wasting your money, right? And so that's why we're here in this community, is to help you, right, to help you from not making the same mistakes and the pitfalls that other people make because they're doing business alone. Okay, so anybody have any comments, feedbacks, or questions on that?
Hey, good, good morning. No, I think you kind of nailed it. At some point in your business, you do have to niche down to at least a couple things that your company does. Not saying you can't do everything, but you do have to niche down. You do, because you're only going to attract what you are consistently doing. Um, just to be like, hey, I even though you can do the work, you can do a post construction job, doesn't mean necessarily that's your niche. You understand? So it is important to realize that, acknowledge that, but don't put limitations on yourself. Yes, you can do something, but just be mindful of the audience that you're going to attract based on what you're doing. That's very important.
Absolutely. Like, you will have clients sometimes where, they trust you so much, or they just, sometimes, let's be honest, sometimes they're being lazy. They don't want to do no more footwork and they just want you to do it, right? So I've had situations where I'm not necessarily a home organizer. I'm not necessarily, I don't advertise myself as that. I don't market myself as that. But I have clients who ask me to help them organize their closets, or help me to clean up and organize their garages. And I'm like, yeah, of course, I'll do it because I do like to organize, but it's not necessarily something that I market myself as an organizer. So, and sometimes we'll get clients who, hey, can you help us put together this shelf? We don't advertise as furniture assembly persons, but there's going to be times where clients will ask you to do extra little things that is not necessarily out of your way, that you will do it. And it's important that you understand who you are, and you understand what the services that you offer. So if somebody asks you to do that, you can powerfully show up and say yes or no, right? You're not doing things that's outside of the scope of what you normally do just because you want to please people. So it's important to only take on what you can truly handle, as long as it's not demanding too much out of you, and as long as it's not requiring you to go research it, or go buy equipment, or do all this extra stuff because you're trying to accommodate this client, and taking yourself out your convenience, right? And pulling your resources, right? Then as long as is within reason, I don't see why you can't do it, right? If you want to. But if it's not within reason, then definitely just stick to what you do. And that's why it's also important to network with other people, right? So if this is not something that you do, or if this is not something that you fully confident or capable of doing at the time, because maybe you want to do it but you're not ready to do it, your business is not ready to do it, right? And when I say your business, I mean as far as equipment, as far as the manpower. Maybe your business is not ready to do it, so you're not going to take on this huge project that your business is not ready to do. You're going to subcontract with somebody else and you're going to get a kickback for it, right? They're going to give you a little bit of money for the referral. So we always have to, be very clear about who we are, so that when clients do ask more of us, we can show up powerfully and give them a yes or a no. I hope that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, like I said, it's just quiet today, Jay, because the points that you're making are valid. Like, you know, I would just only thing I would say is just always keep your options open in regards to what you have foresight for your company. Always keep your options open. Never say yes. We do houses. We clean homes. But never say you don't do commercial because you don't know what opportunity may arise. So again, with every opportunity is another doorway for you to actually explore, learn about, and get yourself familiar with that specific area of cleaning. So again, don't look at it as we only do this or we only do that. That's cool. That's cool. But then you kind of limit yourself too, you know, um, because I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. I can give you guys some examples. Some of the examples are, oh my God, you got so many damn companies that's multi-million dollar companies. Which one I want to go with? Amazon. Amazon. We can go with Amazon. Amazon. This look where they started at. I'm pretty sure everyone understands where they started at. They started as a book selling company. All they did was sell books online. They expanded that network into online sales. They expanded that network into having supermarket. Uh, they're affiliated with supermarkets and stuff. They got a whole mailing and shipping department now. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so don't again hear me out. Niche down to exactly what you do, and build on that. Once you get to a level where you know that all right, we got this mastered, like what I'm saying, we got this locked in. Now it's time to grow and implement some other stuff. And as a business owner if your company is able to do that. And when you get to that point, then you start to work in that direction. But just keep your options open. You start out, you niche down, and then after that, you establish your business, you establish what your brand is, then you continue to grow. Because nothing stays stagnant unless that company or individual wants to stay stagnant with just doing one thing. And again, there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do, but keep your options open. You do not know what the good Lord has in store for you. You do not know what you just don't know. You don't know who you're gonna meet, what doors may open to you. Like seriously. Like for real. So network, talk with people a lot, go to every event to man. It don't gotta just be for cleaning. Like go to a financial event, go to a motivational event. Whatever it is that's gonna help you get more clarity on what it is that you exactly want to do and how you're going to do it, right? You gotta kind of like think like that a little bit, you know. You got to because when you kind of open up a business, oh yeah, cool, you make great sales, you're making $15,000 a month. Great, 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 great. Now, what is the next step? The next step is we have to either improve our capacity, increase our capacity, excuse me, improve our services, and then grow on top of that. Or we're going to try to move in a slightly different way, but in the same arena, but in another section. So it's very important to do that. Oh shoot, let me move out the car. I'm in this guy's way. I forgot. Yeah, I be think I'm in New York sometimes, y'all. I swear. You know how people in New York they just double park the cars. Nah, you can't do that. You can't do that. You gotta park with some sense. But yeah, no. Back on topic, what I was saying, you just really want to not subject yourself to being having a limit on yourself. Because if for all that, you can just get a damn job. Honestly, if I'm being honest, let me move out this guy's way real quick. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Anyway, but yeah, I would just more or less be open minded Think 5 years from now where you want your business to be. Um, think 10 years from now where you want your business to be. Where do you see yourself in your business in 5 years or 10 years? Do you see yourself running the business? Or do you see yourself being a part of the business but not running it? You have someone else in place. So these are all the things again that go back to niching down. You understand? Um, so this is food for thought.
That's definitely a great perspective. Um, and I was just reading a Maya Angelou quote that I have on my refrigerator, and let me what it say. It says, "If you're always trying to be normal, you would never know how amazing you can be." Right. So that's kind of like what you're saying. Don't put yourself in a box. Don't limit yourself. Allow yourself to, to explore the opportunities. That's definitely a great starting point. But at some point, yes, like you said, at some point in your business, you are going to have to niche down. And that doesn't mean that you are only able to do one thing. You can still do many things. But like I said, it might be advantageous for you to create different channels or different departments of your company. Like Molly Maid, right? Molly Maid, we don't know Molly Maid does post construction cleaning. We don't know Molly Maid does commercial cleaning. We don't know. We only know Molly Maid for residential cleaning. Molly Maid has niched down into doing residential cleaning. Does that mean that Molly Maid can't do commercial cleaning? Absolutely not, because it's on their website, right? It's on their website. They don't necessarily always advertise for it, right? So when we're talking about advertisement, that's when it's important to be very specifically niche down when we're speaking about advertisement. But if somebody say, "Hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do that?" then sure, why not? If you're able to, absolutely. But primarily, Molly Main specifically advertises for residential cleaning. I didn't know that they do commercial cleaning until I went on their website. So, it's about just really being clear, having clarity in your business, having clarity about your services that you offer is so important, right? You don't want to be like hustle man. That's the last thing you want to be. You don't want to be like hustle man. You do a little bit of everything, right? Because it's like, okay, I mean, people love that you do a little bit of everything, but at the end of the day, if you're doing business with a big corporation or a big company, what do they know you for? What do people know you for? So but even that is still a niche, right? Even that of being a one-stop shop is still a niche. And even that can be advertised, but you have to say that, right? You have to be clear on that. If that's what you're offering, if that's who you are, right? Because we want to be the big pond, we want to be the big fish in a small pond, right? We don't want to be small fish in small in big ponds, or small fish in small ponds. We want to be the big fish in a small pond. So what does that mean? That means dominate, right? That means dominate the space, right? And yes, there's going to be pros and cons to being a big fish in a small pond. Absolutely. Right? Because people are going to be intimidated by you. People are not going to be familiar with you, right? They're going to be like, "Oh my God, you're charging $500 for a deep clean. Who does that?" Right? It has its growing pains. But when you're making your mark, right? You have to be okay with being different, right? You have to be okay with being different. While everybody is doing what they do, you have to have enough self-assurance and in yourself and confidence in yourself that it's okay that I'm the big fish in the small pond. It's okay that I look different. It's okay that I'm bigger than you. It's okay that you're not used to my size. It's okay that you're not used to my body structure, right? I may swim a little slower than you because you're not as big as I am, right? It's okay. It's okay to be different. And I think a lot of times we as people, we bring our insecurities into business and we try to fit in with everybody. You don't want to fit in with everybody. You want to stand out. You want to be different. You want people to talk about you. You want people to question what you got going on, right? Because that's how, that's free media. That's how the word gets around, if we're gonna be honest. That's how the word gets around. Oh my gosh, she's over there charging $500 for a deep clean. Um, Starting price. Okay, let's be clear. Starting price for a deep clean, right? I'm not trying to blend in with everybody. Why? Why would you want to blend in with people? Be different, stand out, right? If you're too busy trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be, right? So the problem is with bringing our personal stuff in the business and thinking that this is how you're supposed to do business. No, it's not how you're supposed to do business. You're supposed to stand out. You're supposed to niche down. You're supposed to be, be willing to, not to be broke, to not make money, right? Don't be afraid to be broke. There's going to be days where you're going to be broke. And if you are afraid to be broke, then you don't need to be in business. You need to have a 9 to 5, because that's the only thing that's probably going to give you some type of assurance right now. Business is not going to give you a sense of assurance, right? It has its good days, it has its bad days, it has its good times, it has its bad times. That's why you have to store away the nuts for the winter, right? If you are a person where you want to get paid every 2 weeks like clockwork, then you need a job. This is not business, because we understand in business there's going to be times where you're not going to get a project, you're not going to get a client, you're not going to get booked, and you have to be able to withstand that storm and be okay with that. It's not that you're doing anything wrong, it's just part of business. It is what it is, right? So I think that we definitely need to have a shift, if we want to keep growing and progressing and keep moving forward. We have to have these, I forget what they call it, but it's right there. I just don't want to say it wrong. A paradigm shift. We need to have a paradigm shift of how we think and who we are as people, so that we can show up powerfully in our business. That's so important. Anybody have any feedback on that? Questions, comments?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you, Jay. I think that um, really taking the time to get the clarity behind what it is that you're doing is going to be one of the most important things. I love some of the pieces that you guys added about, you can do other things, but, you have to be careful about what you present yourself as and how you write your copy. So, for instance, for me, I always just kind of advertise myself as, hey, we can do anything, no job too big, no job too small. We take everything in between. And you're really a master at nothing. But whenever I really got focused on honing in on working with builders, I recognized I had to completely shift my entire business model. Everything, my marketing, everything had to be shifted at that point. And I'm still in the process of doing so now. But so I'm no longer looking to necessarily attract residential. If I get a residential call, am I going to take it? Absolutely. Do we specialize in it? Absolutely. We can definitely handle all things residential. But do I want to continue to go after the small fish? No, I don't want to go after the small fish anymore. Now I want to appeal to somebody who is bigger, with a bigger budget, that has a larger bit of revenue that they're able to shift my way. And so, knowing that specifically and having that strategy behind what I'm doing is a game changer, because it's going to be very hard for you to attract a builder if you are continually, posting residential pictures and you're continuously, showcasing that you do residential and that's primarily what you take care of. And although, the other piece that I love is that Anthony had mentioned is that you have to, keep your eyes open for the opportunities, because of being in the industry. different doors are going to open for you. And had I not been a residential cleaner and been a great residential cleaner, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to work with the builder to step into that side of things. So that door never would have opened had I not began. So sometimes you just have to begin and just get started where you can, find your foot in the door wherever you're able, and then work your way there. But it's important that you do have a strategy and a tactic, a game plan in mind. And had I been able to go back and tell myself that one piece of advice whenever I first began, that you need a strategy, I would have been so much further along than I am right now. But now that I know, and now that I've learned and grown, we're able to share this information with you all and help you to understand that there's strategy, there's levels to this, and you need to have a strategy. You need to have some sort of game plan. But as you go along, and once you get started, once you get movement in your business, you'll recognize those opportunities and they do begin to shine. So I definitely love everything you guys have shared today. Definitely some fantastic gems that have been dropped on this fantastic Friday.
Awesome. I love that. And I love that you touched on that, the advertisement and your business model. Yes, everything completely changes. Like everything changes, and so that's why it's so important to just focus on one thing at a time. It's building blocks, right? It's building blocks. It's not a race, it's a journey, it's a process, and everything is built upon the next block, the next block, the next block. And you want to make sure that whatever you're building has a solid foundation, right? So if it's shaky and if it's not stable, then whatever you build on top is gonna come down when chaos hits. And chaos will hit. I promise you that. It will. That's one thing that we know about life. Problems will come. That's probably the only guarantee about life, is that problems will come, right? We can know that for sure. Problems will come, chaos will come. And so when it comes and when it happens, are you ready? Will your business withstand a storm, right? We've seen people go out of business because of COVID. I don't know if anybody could have ever really actually prepared for COVID, because we didn't know what a COVID was. We didn't know what it was, right? But some people, their doors are still open, right? A lot of big companies had to close some doors, like Bank of America. They had to close a few locations. But at the end of the day, they're still in business, right? So if you got to take a hit, then and you're still in business, then hey, that's business. That's business, right? So, we have to adapt this business mind, and that's what transformation is. Transformation is adopting things that don't belong to you. Adopting mindsets and behaviors and understandings that don't belong to you, that you normally won't do or you normally won't have. It comes from learning and growing and evolving. All right. So I hope this conversation is helping you guys. Um, Anybody have any questions?
There was one more piece I wanted to add, Jay, and I kind of had forgot about it that you guys had touched on also. And that was when Anthony was sharing about, the different companies and things like that, and just how they've progressed over time. And I learned about a new one. I believe it was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. How many of you guys have heard of Carnival Cruises? Everyone heard of Carnival Cruises here? I'm pretty sure everyone has.
Yes, Carnival Cruises.
Oh
Okay,
yeah, they got
so
good chips.
so when Carnival Cruises first began, when they began their business, they were so broke that they had this boat, but they did not even have enough money to paint the entire boat. They only had enough money to paint the port side of the boat. So only one side of the boat was painted when they first began, and they didn't have enough people to fill the boat. They needed to find a way to get people on that boat. And so what they did is they went to radio advertisers And they told them that they would offer them spaces on the boat in exchange for them telling other people on the radio about the cruise ship. And that's how they got their footing. That's how they began. And as the boat began to fill, as they began to get more people, more listeners tuning in, joining the boat, they were able to paint the other side of that boat. Then they were able to go ahead and get another boat, and they were able to progress from there. But to think back at such a huge corporation, something that everyone knows, to think that they only had one boat and that they only were able to paint the port side of that boat when they first began. I mean, that's inspiration right there. You have to look at that and know that you don't have to have all your ducks 100% in a row. You don't have to have everything completely figured out right now in the beginning, but over time, you can build something massive. Literally massive, if you continue at it and you find ways to leverage other people's audiences, you find ways to strategize within your business, you find other people. That's one thing that I've definitely learned in business is I used to be that person that I was going to do it all on my own, all by myself. I was going to build everything. I was going to go from the ground up and I was going to do this, and this. I no longer look at things that way. I need a team. I need an entire group of people. And this community right here is a part of my team, a huge part of my team. And even though we're all in different places and we're all over the country, the difference is we all network together. We all work together as a community to help grow one another, to help each other, to learn, to motivate one another, to stay accountable. And that's exactly what you need to be in order to be successful. In order to be successful, you have to have that learning element. And Anthony touched on that learning element earlier as well. Learning different pieces to your business, taking time to learn different things within your business. Whenever I first began working with the builders, I didn't know everything about working with the builders. I knew a lot about residential. And because it's residential, I knew a lot. But there were pieces to that I still had to learn. But the difference was I wasn't scared. I was confident in my abilities to be able to make that shift. And when I started working with the builders, I let them know that up front. I let them know that I was not versed in the building space. However, I was a very good residential cleaner and I would do a fantastic job. But if there were things that they noticed that needed to be taken care of, to please communicate with me, to work with me, to give me the time to shift for them, that I would do a great job for them. And so people will give you the opportunity, especially when you're hungry, you're eager, and you're willing to get out there and do whatever it takes to get the job done. They're going to correct you. They're going to help you to grow. They're going to help you to see what you need to do to make the shifts also. But you have to be open to those things. You have to be coachable. You have to be willing to take the things that you're learning and actually implement them. The same thing that we talk about in this community. When you're in this community and you're hearing each other, you're hearing the other cleaning members speak, you're hearing people tell you things, you've got to take that back. You've got to figure out how you're going to put that into your business and put it to action. That's the difference. Without action, you're going to stay exactly where you are. If you want to know what the next year is going to look like, well, it's going to look a lot like the last 2 years if you don't make some changes. So, with this new year coming up, guys, it's time. There is no better time than right now. You've got to get moving. You've got to take all the information that you've been soaking in. You've got to begin to put it all into action. Let's go, guys. It's time to implement.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Woo! That's amazing. I love that. And it's always comforting to learn about a massive business humbles beginnings. It's encouraging because a lot of times we see our struggle, but in fact it's a humble beginning, right? Who's to say that your cleaning business cannot be, you know, one of the major franchises that we know, right? Who's to say that your cleaning business can't be a future Molly Maid or a future whatever, whatever. I don't know. I mean, what's the other
You are to say, you. It's
right?
you. You're the only person in your way.
Exactly. You are the only person in your way. And absolutely, I love that you touched on that learning element. If you do not have a thirst to learn new things, your food is on the counter, son. If you do not have a thirst and a desire to learn new things to keep your brain going, right? You literally just have a cleaning job. Okay? That's all you have. And so let's stop using the language of cleaning business unless we actually really building a business. It's okay to be honest with yourself. As a matter of fact, it's the best thing that you can do for yourself is to be honest with yourself. You end the war, you end the internal conflict when you're honest with yourself, right? When we keep lying to ourselves about things, we keep wrestling with ourselves, we keep being stressed out, we keep being tormented. Stop lying to yourself. If you have a cleaning job, say that. That's a good place to start. You know what? I've been operating my business like a cleaning job. That's a great place to start, right? You can build on honesty. You can't build on lies because it's going to crumble. One day it's going to crumble, right? The lies are going to come out, right? People are going to see the truth for what it is, right? So let's not lie to ourselves. We can't control people lying to us, but we could damn sure control us lying to ourselves. So let's start telling ourselves the truth. If we don't do anything else from this day forth, let's start telling ourselves the truth. And let's get draw inspiration from seeing other people live their truth and seeing in other businesses, humble beginnings, because honestly, everything starts small. This world starts small, right? This world that we live on, this massive world that we live on, that we can travel from country to country, state to state, it started small. Everything starts small. And if we cannot accept our small beginnings and our small wins, we will never get to our true victory. So I hope this conversation, it inspired you. It helped you guys. Okay, Miss Lawanda. Miss Lawanda's in PA meeting with Mr. Malik. Y'all have an awesome time. Stay safe out there in PA, Pennsylvania. Is that Pennsylvania or Philadelphia? Which one is that? I don't know. Which one is that? Philly or is that? They both kind of the same, right? Aren't they both the same? They two are the same. Listen, I don't know.
It's the
Don't get
same to me.
don't get me started. Listen, when I was young, I thought Miami was out the country. Fun fact: Miami is not out the country. Yo, it's crazy. Like me and Maps, we never been friends. Me and what is it what is it, geographical, what is it called, geo something? Yeah, see, I can't even say the words. Never been friends. All right, y'all, that's enough of me making a fool of myself. Yes, awesome. On what website you gonna what website you gonna post a picture of y'all? On what website, Miss Lawanda? What website you talk about? You talk about the Facebook group? All right. So she's saying, Miss Lawanda saying that she's in the chat. She's saying that she's gonna post a picture of her and Mr. Malik, which is another one of our community members. They're meeting in person. So we are super excited when our community members are meeting in person. Listen, we gotta be intentional about meeting in person as well. We were supposed to do something, but things happens. It's probably, we have to be able to be in tune with timing. Right. It's not always the right time to do things, even though we want to do it. We don't want to go ahead of time. But speaking of time, I noticed that we started making this community a sorry guys. We made this community official in January of 2023. And how I know that is because I made a post on We Are the Cleaning Crew Instagram page. If you're not following the Instagram page, make sure you follow us. And I created a post on January 24th. And we started this year off strong, y'all. So listen, even though I ain't post no more content after that, it's been a busy year. It's been a year of just learning and growing and building, right? This has been a fun year. I'm speaking like we're in December already. Y'all already know my mind is kind of already in December. It's already in the new year. But I'm saying all that to say is that we are gonna end this year off strong as well. We started the year off strong. We're gonna end the year off strong. Okay. I'm gonna be posting more content on the Instagram page, more content on the Facebook page, more content on our YouTube page, our YouTube channel. So if you're not following all three platforms, you definitely want to make sure that you follow, because there's probably going to be some changes in the upcoming year as far as our schedule is concerned. And so that's just definitely going to be a platform where you're going to be able to still, stay tuned in and locked into what we got going on here in the cleaning crew. Okay. I can't officially say yet what changes, but I just feel like some changes need to happen as far as the schedule. All right. Just to accommodate everybody, because I know everybody's busy. I'm busy, everybody's busy, and we got to make sure that we keep this community strong, and when we show up powerfully, right, for one another. So we're going to be having a group meeting at some point discussing that. But I hope that y'all are gaining a lot of value from this community. I hope and pray that this community has been edifying y'all lives as far as, just the different topics that we touch on, in addition to growing your cleaning business, but all the other topics that we discuss: spirituality, confidence, team building, conflict resolution, all the different things that we touch on: advertising, marketing, and websites. And we touch on so many different topics here, y'all. Like, I don't know if y'all literally understand the value of this community. I hope y'all do. But I know this community has been a blessing to me, and I can only hope that it's continue to be a blessing to you. All right. So looking forward to us continue to grow, elevate, support one another. All right. Make sure y'all show some love on that Instagram. On that Instagram page. Make sure y'all show some love on the Facebook page. And also make sure y'all show some love on this YouTube link that I have pinned to the top of the room. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to have some more content um, on there as well. All right. Any last or final thoughts before we close out the room, you guys? What are your takeaways of the conversation? Anybody?
Yeah, I'm just really excited. Like I said, we're in fourth quarter, guys. Like, it's really just time to just get excited, to think really big. Think the next year, think the next 5 years. It's time to really get focused, really get clarity. That's the big takeaway that I got today, is just really getting clarity, because the more clarity that you could have, the bigger vision that you could have, the more that you can see, the more that you're going to receive. You're going to get into your business you're going to get out of your business what you put into your business. So the more that you're learning, the more that you're putting into it, the more that you're committed to it, you're just going to get that right back. And looking at this upcoming year, looking at the past year, where numbers are coming out at, and then you look back to when you first began, and you see the beginnings, those humble beginnings that we talked about, and you recognize how far you've came. You recognize what has taken place in order for you to get where you're at. And you just think about what the next 5 years of compounding is going to look like, at continuing to educate yourself, continuing to grow, continuing to learn, picking words of the day. All of those things just accumulate, and they just snowball, and it just has this huge effect on you if you stay committed to it. So stay connected with the community, stay committed. That's my huge takeaway.
Awesome. Love it. Well, we already got our closing remarks from Miss Melissa. Listen, it's Friday, y'all. Happy, 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 happy Friday. Always be blessed, never stress. Work smarter, not harder, and always be excited, you guys. Have an amazing weekend. We'll pick back up on Monday. Have a great weekend.